Hello, televiewers of Mamida Prime Television. Good morning and welcome to this other edition of The Brief, where we always get to dig several layers beneath the major headlines as captured by newspapers. On today's edition of the program, we are going to be focusing on the killings of civilians in the northwest regions of Cameroon. Reactions continue to pour in after the incident that led to the death of at least 15 civilians within 48 hours in the chief town Bamenda. Different reactions as relayed by newspaper this morning is our focus. We shall also talk about the reconstruction plan and the development of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. The population-oriented project came under examination in the chief town Bamenda recently, where Governor Adolphe Lafrique of the northwest region of Cameroon chaired the first meeting when it comes to evaluating what has been done so far when it comes to the population-oriented project. Etape Quentin is with me in the studio. He has been reading through some major French language newspapers. Let's have those headlines he has been reading through. Bonjour Etape Quentin.
Bonjour Lasha, gestion du fret du transport terrestre en Afrique centrale. La CEMAC, l'élite dirigeante du Cameroun, eh bien l'industrie touristique du pays, l'attaque terroriste à Bamenda, le comble de la lâcheté, c'est ce que nous propose d'ailleurs le journal Cameroun Tribune et bien d'autres journaux encore qui en parlent des autres d'actualité. Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Bienvenue dans ce programme consacré au décryptage des informations relayées dans les parutions en kiosque au quotidien. Démarrons avec le quotidien à capitaux gouvernemental, Cameroun Tribune, qui titre en sa grande une « Attaque terroriste de Bamenda, le comble de la lâcheté » si l'on s'en tient au développement donné par nos confrères de ce numéro de Marie-Claire Nana, notamment dans les pages 6 et 7. L'on peut comprendre que des hommes armés ont ouvert le feu dimanche soir sur des civils dans un débit de boisson. 10 morts et 2 blessés enregistrés. Les assaillants ont tenté de semer la confusion en s'habillant en tenue militaire. Le MINDEF, dans un communiqué hier, a transmis les condoléances du chef de l'État, son Excellence Paul Biya, aux familles des victimes. La traque des auteurs de ce crime odieux a été immédiatement lancée. En tout cas, vous verrez des détails dans ce numéro en kiosque ce matin. Poursuivons dans notre exercice avec le journal Le Point, le bi-hebdomadaire. Quant à lui, parle du Cameroun, décrépitude de l'élite aux dirigeantes, le plomb, point de suspension. Plus loin dans les explications, le journal explique qu'il n'a échappé à personne que le Cameroun, dans toutes les strates de sa société, est dirigé par des vieux. Si cette gérontocratie compte y demeurer et pouvoir bien aussi longtemps que Paul Biya restera au pouvoir, il faut se le dire, cette classe n'apporte plus absolument rien au pays, sinon la corruption, le vol, le satanisme et tutti quanti. Il y a péril en la demeure. En tout cas, le point de le point. C'est ce que nous présente le journal en grande une ce matin. Des détails sont à retrouver dans les lignes et colonnes de la page 11. Prenons à présent l'économie qui parle naturellement de l'économie. Cameroun, les facteurs qui plombent l'industrie touristique. C'est ce que nous propose d'ailleurs le journal en grand titre de ce matin. À l'heure où l'on parle de tourisme durable, le pays a encore de nombreux défis à relever. Quels sont donc ces défis? Je vous invite à parcourir la page 3 pour les connaître. Prenons à présent le journal Le Messager qui s'intéresse à la CEMAC et titre « Les habits neufs de la gouvernance ». Réunis hier à Douala, les nouveaux responsables des institutions communautaires ont pour mission de contribuer au développement socio-économique de l'Afrique centrale. Vous retrouverez ample information sur cette actualité dans les pages 4, 5 et 11 de ce numéro en kiosque ce matin. Prenons aussi le journal Forum Libre pour terminer. Forum Libre, gestion du fret terrestre en Afrique, le Bénin à l'école du BGFT au Cameroun. Si l'on s'en tient aux informations relayées dans les pages 2 et 3 de cette parution en kiosque ce matin, les acteurs de la chaîne logistique de transport ainsi que le top management de l'Agence nationale du transport terrestre du Bénin viennent de passer 6 jours au Cameroun pour se mouler au bon fonctionnement du système de dématérialisation de gestion du fret terrestre installé par le bureau de gestion de fret terrestre conduit par son coordinateur El Hadj Oumarou. Du 11 au 15 juillet 2023, la délégation béninoise a pu visiter plusieurs sites et toucher du doigt les réalisations et autres investissements faits par le BGFT qui sont aujourd'hui une référence en Afrique et dont de nouveaux pays continuent de s'en inspirer. Au cœur des recommandations, en tout cas, rendez-vous dans ce journal en kiosque ce matin pour plus de détails. Mesdames et messieurs, voilà, c'est tout pour la lecture des unes en langue française. Place actuellement à la découverte des autres tabloïds en anglais avec toi, Lasha. Une fois de plus, bonjour.
Thank you, Etape Quentin. Good morning once again, televiewers on Media Prime Television. Let's kickstart the exercise this morning with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post is taking us to Bamenda to talk about the macabre killing of 10 at Nancho Junction. Nation mourns, government accuses Amber fighters but maintains silence on Saturday's butchering of 5 youth allegedly by security officers in the same vicinity. Reading further in the newspaper, the macabre killing of at least 10 people at Nancho Junction, Bamenda on Sunday, July 16, 2023 by suspected Amber fighters has set the entire nation on mourning mood, while many have condemned the gruesome killings that took place in a bar. Government, for its part, has made it clear that the killings were orchestrated by Ambazonia fighters. However, governments rushed to comment on Sunday's killing of 10 civilians at Nancho Junction while ignoring the brutal killing of 5 youngsters in the same vicinity or city on the night of Friday, breaking Saturday, July 15, 2023, has left some citizens startled. The details are found on page 3 of this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. Still in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper, let's talk about the biannual Governors Conference. At the opening of Governors Conference in Yaoundé, Minabo sends grim message to media, political parties as well as NGOs. The Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has in what many say is a veiled threat, sent a strong message to the media, political parties and non-governmental organizations, NGOs operating in the country. The Minister, Paul Atanganji, made the declarations in Yaoundé. That was yesterday as he opened the first biannual conference of regional governors in Yaoundé. The details are found on page 6 of this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. On to the Sun. The Sun newspaper is also focusing on what the paper terms of horror in Bamenda. Here is how and what happened, writes the Sun newspaper. 16 killed within 3 days. Sunday's killings targeted and not indiscriminate shooting. Read first-hand, heart-wrenching account of tragedy in this edition of the newspaper, precisely on pages 4 and 5. Defense Ministry accuses Amber fighters over Sunday massacre, but says nothing about Friday killings in the town. See in this edition of the newspaper, let's talk about Northwest Regional Assembly 2024 budgetary year to witness bottom-top project realization. The revelation was made in Bamenda during the 11th session of the Northwest Regional Assembly that held in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region of Cameroon. And let's take you now to the Voice newspaper. The Voice is also focusing on the series of killings in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region. Horrific weekend in Bamenda, writes the Voice newspaper. corpses littered Nancho Junction. Uncertainty on whereabouts of many people in that neighborhood. Let's stay with the Voice newspaper to talk about the rebuilding of war-ravaged Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Northwest Follow-up Committee Chair Governor Lele Lafrique task stakeholders. And of course, still in this edition of the newspaper, you'll find what actually happened during the first follow-up committee meeting that was chaired by Governor Lele Lafrique in the northwest region of the country in the presence of stakeholders in the reconstruction and development plan of President Paul Biya in the northwest region of Cameroon. ICT founder Mbarika bestowed with African Achievers Award in London. He was conferred the prestigious title at the House of Lords in London recently. The moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon has condemned the killing of Queen Mother in Bello. Reverend Funky Samuel says perpetrators risk generational curse, according to him. Let's end this morning with Municipal Updates newspaper, still talking about ICT University founder Professor Victor Mbarika, who wins Historic Leadership Award. This was during a ceremony organized at the British House of Lords in London last Friday. We take you to Bamenda to talk about the killings of civilians, and Archbishop Andrew Nkea commits souls of killed compatriots to God. Defense Ministry details how Amber fighters carried out condemnable killings of those civilians. Meanwhile, the Northwest House of Chiefs President decries act, urges Amber fighters to lead or to hit President Paul Biya's call and disarm. The details are found on page 7 or page 2 rather of this edition of Municipal Updates newspaper. Thank you so much, televiewers of Media Prime, for listening to the major headlines being read to you. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions as usual. We are joined this morning by Charles Kebwa, the regional bureau chief from Media Prime Television, the northwest region of the country. We shall be discussing the killings of civilians, a series of killings within 48 hours that has left at least 15 civilians dead in that part of the country. We don't know if Charles Kebwa is already on the line. If you are getting me, Charles Kebwa, good morning and welcome. Apparently, Charles Kebwa, we still finding difficulties in connecting with Charles Kebwa. Etape Quentin. We are talking about killings of civilians in the northwest region of Cameroon. The Defense Ministry has come out and accuses Ambazonia fighters of carrying out the act.
Oui, c'est l'information qui est affichée dans les journaux, notamment le journal de Cameroun Tribune, qui parle de 10 morts et 2 blessés enregistrés. Eh bien, les assaillants ont tenté de se vêtir en couleur militaire.
Oui, alors, ils sont habillés en tenue militaire.
Voilà, ils sont habillés en tenue militaire pour certainement dissuader les attentions. Alors, selon une source, une enquête serait ouverte pour déterminer, n'est-ce pas, les auteurs de ces tueries. Il faut dire que c'est pas la première fois, c'est pas la deuxième fois. Où est-ce que nous partons exactement? Est-ce que le pays serait transformé en une boucherie humaine?
And that's not even the first. Just within 48 hours, it seemed a day before that said incident, we had another five civilians that were killed in the same city. 5 youngsters that were killed by men in military attire, as per what some newspapers are reporting this morning, that the Defense Ministry made mention of the Nancho incident, but completely forgot about what happened to the youngsters recently. We have indications that Charles Kebwa is there now. Charles Kebwa, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, televiewers. Welcome to the Northwest region.
How is Bamenda this morning?
Well, Bamenda is up. Bamenda is up, though, with the tragic incident that happened over the weekend. 2 incidents, one at Atu Azri Nacho Junction in the Bamenda 2 subdivision, and the other at our quarters in the Abanga neighborhood in the Bamenda 1 subdivision.
Charles Kebua, we've read the outing of Defense Ministry. We've also read that coming from the Northwest House of Chiefs. We've heard other Cameroonians react. According to your own findings, what actually happened in Bamenda?
The tragic incident eyewitness recount happened Sunday, July 16, breaking 17th in the Atu Azri Nacho Junction in the Bamenda 2 subdivision and Awin quarters in the Abango neighborhood, Bamenda 1 subdivision, when gunmen opened fire on the civilian neighborhood, angrily shouting "black legs," a word commonly used by separatist fighters in the region to refer some persons to have betrayed them. Though one cannot independently confirm who the authors of such an abominable act, killing 10, including a couple, leaving 3 children behind, we are told. Rain of bullets just 2 days after 5 young people were killed in that same neighborhood in a military raid. The outing of today, the Ministry of Defense, in a press release, has alleged the terrorist act was perpetrated by a secessionist armed group, deceitfully dressed in military uniform, similar to those of the army, carrying automatic rifles. Though preliminary reports of this massacre has been revealed, 10 persons were murdered and 2 others seriously injured, one who took treatment and went home, while the other is still at the intensive care of the Bamenda Regional Hospital. Northwest Governor Adolphe Lele-Lafrique, who is presently attending a security meeting in Yaoundé, has condemned strongly the barbaric act and has promised, search and measures that has been taken to locate the perpetrators of the incident that has left many in shock. I will tell you, Bamenda is really in shock with 15 persons, 10 plus 5, gone over the weekend. Youths, all not above 24 years, in keeping with the laws and regulation of the Republic. Let me tell you, the Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Foya Andrew Nkea, who visited, the spot where the massacre took place, prayed and lit candles at the scene, remind the people, love is the catechism, and life is better than death, and living and loving one another is better than killing one another. The shooting to death of the 10 civilians described as inhumane, Northwest funds have condemned it. You've just talked about a press release. The funds have come out equally with a press release this day, condemning the massacre, condemning even those who have gone against destroying shrines, destroying palaces. They have taken arms against the state. The funds are against it, and they have written in their document that on Thursday come after tomorrow, they are going to lead a walk, a peaceful march to condemn all the atrocities going on in the region, to begin with a march from the city chemist roundabout to the governor's office.
Yes.
That is the situation Bamenda is.
Yes. Charles Kebua, let me ask you this question. It happened in the same vicinity or quarter. Are there some elements of, I don't know how to put it, xenophobic or ethnic, I don't know how I have to put it, because we heard from Cabral Libi that people from a certain regions were being targeted. That's as an attempt to cause confusion in the city of Bamenda.
Yeah, let me come somewhere. The Northwest Regional Assembly just recently ended. And just like Northwest Governor has been on this aspect of condemning the hate speech, the Northwest Funds Union, through the funds president, equally has condemned his speech. And let me tell you, no politician should use this act to, like, bring in this issue of xenophobia, because hate speech is one of the issues people of the Northwest region, like the mayor of Bamenda too, in his last press, outing, equally condemned this issue of press speech, for people to know that there are Anglophones building in the littoral, there are Anglophones building in the center, north, etc., etc. Just equally like those who are living from, yeah, you may say it's xenophobia, because most of the people who live in that area, they come from the West region. And it's a rig zone. Let us use this word, it's a rig zone, but we should not go to politicize what is happening presently, but we should condemn, yes, and not bring xenophobia, but condemn it as hate speech. Yeah.
Yes, Charles Keba, they were targeted in a bar. What explain this fact that people sit there drinking in a drinking spot? Out of sudden, people, they just come and attack them. Were there no security officers around that area? Or what was the security situation of that town? Knowing fully well that some people were killed the day before, people go and sit in a bar drinking.
Well, what I will tell you is that I have used a word which is commonly used by separatist fighters in the region, and it is referred to some persons to have betrayed them. They always come and say, you are a black leg. This word is a word which is like somebody will talk of xenophobia, it's hate speech. Yeah, maybe people who use those words don't know it's hate speech. Let me be honest with you. If you go directly to, investigate to know, something is fidgeting, because let us go to honesty. Where those young boys were killed, get to the resident. Was it a resident that resembles people? At times we need to ask this. And if there is a raid, and that raid, some people are carried along and others are shot, and some people, we are told, ran away. If those people ran away, where did they go to? If they were carrying arms, were they armed men? Then if they might have met armed men, then it is something we can say it's like retaliating. But it's something worth to condemn. Like the Archbishop of the Bamenda Archdiocese has condemned it. It is high time people should know nobody has the right to take away another man's life. It is better for you to, know that love is the catechism, and then life is better than death. And living and loving one another is better than killing one another. It is high time we should condemn the atrocities that is going on in the Northwest region. Let me be honest with you as we talk. These have just come to compound with, people cannot leave from Bamenda now to go to Ndop. It's impossible. The roads are blocked, completely blocked, but you don't know who, is the author behind. The road from Bamenda to Funong is blocked somewhere between Belo and Babanki. But you don't see who. I mean, it becomes very invisible. The road from Bamenda to Mbengwi is blocked. And then in all of this, if you discover it, maybe we'll be talking subsequently others. It's worth time for people to get up, rise up, and let us condemn. Because it's time for those who still carry on the arms to, like many people say, drop and join the DDR Center and be reintegrated.
The traditional rulers will be marching.
As we need in Bamenda.
The traditional rulers will be marching. They will be storming the streets of Bamenda on the 20th of this month. Do you think their march will have an impact on what is actually happening in the Northwest region?
Well, I think because there is nobody who will sit and see his phone go to march and you don't follow the phone, except we have accepted, like they have been condemning. Yeah, let me be honest, that the phones, during the 11th session of the Northwest Regional Assembly that was chaired by its president, that's the president of the House of Chiefs, His Majesty Yakum Kelvin Sumentang II. He condemned this issue of hate speech, which has actually brought the ongoing socio-political crisis and unrest in the region, where even funds have no respect. We have had desecration of condoms. We have had, where traditional rulers, ancestral shrines, and the culture itself at times is even going down. So there is nobody who will see the fund going out to march for peace and you don't go behind the fund. And I want to see it as a high time for us to honor our funds, because we have really relegated them so much in the background that we have forgotten about it, and we have left it in the hands of people who do not. And you can see they have even come out. Let me be honest, in one of their resolutions that I felt is very good, people have taken upon, you can find somebody wear traditional regalia, and you will not believe that that man is not a fund. Which is not, that man is not a fund, but he's putting on a regalia that you may sit and you say, meh, meh. And people have been chopping about this issue that some of these are funds today, they are crying. Well, they are not in the palaces. And we are the subjects to make sure that our funds or our funds should be in the palaces. And I'm happy on one thing, the president of the House of Chiefs has put up. It's good for those funds also to become very economically, independent. I always look at this way. To come back to our reason, it is to be loving. Let we English people come back as one. Love ourselves. Why do you target the military you are targeting? You are targeting.
Yeah, that's a question
along the line you come and
yes,
see that.
that's the question I was about to ask you.
I mean,
yes,
people should think and let's stop this rubbish. It's rubbish.
Yes, that's
ourselves all the time. We keep killing ourselves. Youths are dying. Youths are dying innocently. Youths are dying for nothing. I've used this phrase and I say it is high time. Let us forget about politics and what is happening in the northwest and southwest regions. I talk like an individual. It is painful that I cannot go and bury death. Neither do I mourn the death. And people, instead of them to mourn the death, they tend to, go to destroy what those dead people have had. I mean, it's a sad something. An Anglophone brother going to kill another brother, right? Even on top of his dying day, or even on his graveyard. Let us reason. We drugs. Let's be honest. We will condemn these things. We condemn. I mean, it's high time for people to us condemn the atrocities that is going up and on in the northwest and southwest regions. Anglophones should love themselves. Let us not accept people start talking about xenophobia. We are against whoever is hate speech. We will never be we in the northwest region. We need peace. We need peace. Primordially, we need peace.
Alors, Charles Kibois, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Voilà, merci d'être disponible pour nous. On regarde l'actualité qui prévaut sur le terrain actuellement, des hommes...
Sit on a table for dialogue, nobody comes for dialogue. And the chairman was always ready for dialogue. Till his dying day, he had one word to also say, which I'm told we should always recall. Go and remove that knife that you have pierced on my neck and let us sit and talk.
So what kind of dialogue?
Why this issue of dialogue? We have always been crying. People will say they want to dialogue, but there's no sincere dialogue. We have been praying for dialogue. I don't know whether God does not hear us. Yeah, because if sincerely people pray, God should listen to us. We have suffered in the northwest region. People have fled their homes, but there are some persons that it seems as if they don't see it. Go to some homes. People are unable to eat. Go to some homes. People are unable to sleep. Children. But somebody does not see it. But at times we'll complain the government. we should start from ourselves. If the dialogue really wants, let it start among ourselves. If you are carrying a gun, think about what you're doing with that gun. Do you kill your brother? Or is it to shoot beef? Because let me be honest, there's one thing which is happening in the Northwest region. The guns that they were refused for people not to shoot animals with are turned, and people are using it to shoot human beings. It's so pathetic. The dialogue we are crying, let people be sincere with that dialogue. And people should come to the table. You should not keep hanging on one side and you keep complaining. No, let us be sincere on our own selves and sit on the table and end this carnage. I see it a carnage.
Okay.
The carnage.
Yes, Charles Kebwa, let's talk about the meeting that you attended. We are talking about follow-up, according to the Voice newspaper, the follow-up committee meeting for the reconstruction of the Northwest and Southwest region. The very first evaluation meeting held in Bamenda, chaired by Governor Lele Lafrique, where stakeholders were urged to make sure that they do everything for the realization of the population-oriented projects. Charles?
Yeah.
Are you there?
I am there.
Yes.
Yeah, the follow-up committee, we just need to be honest to say we in the region, we are lucky. Yeah, I like the way you put it. You attended the meeting. Yes, I attended the meeting as a journalist, and it is my role to educate. It was the first time, and actually chaired, not chaired by Yaoundé, but this time around, chaired by Northwest Governor Aldov Lele Lafrique. It was an interesting meeting if you were there because it brought actually all the stakeholders. And if you look at the, the PPRD projects in the Northwest region, they've done a lot. They've actually done a lot. Let us keep, juxtaposing the way some people juxtapose. This time around was under the extreme instruction of the Prime Minister head of government, Chief Dr. Diongote, and it was a maiden meeting for Northwest Regional Follow-Up Committee of the Presidential Plan for the Reconstruction and Development of the Northwest and Southwest Region, the PPRD. This time around here, ours was happy that it was Northwest Governor Aldov Lele Lafrique who actually, chaired it for the first time in the presence of, the national coordinator of the PPRD, and equally with partners like the United Nations Development Program, the UNDP, that have been doing so much. So many things came out of the meeting. And just to take a long rope and cut it short, one thing that I was happy in it is that most of the mayors in the region who attended that meeting attest that they had received something from the PPRD. Be it health center, be it bridges, be it culvert, be it farm equipment, be it whatsoever. Like my friend, the mayor of Benakuma, he said they have received so much. I hope many people saw it over my media Prime News. He said they have received so many things. The mayor of Nkambe, Mayor Musa Shenfo, acknowledged. And this time around, they are entering in the second phase. If people had worked the first phase, and this time around they are entering the second phase, like the mayor of Nkambe, Musa Shenfo said, that they have received so much.
Charles Kebwa, we are talking about
phase in which they are coming in.
Yes.
This time around, no, they are hopeful, and he in Nkambe is sure that Nkambe will still reap a lot. You just need peace.
Yes,
people
Charles Kebwa.
Need peace. Let peace reign, and it will happen. And one thing I was happy along with it, Northwest Governor Aldov Lele Lafrique, within it, they realized that there are some contractors in this region that they play loophole. Yeah, they play the gallery to at the end of it they embezzle. He has actually sound a warning to all of them to know that there is hard sanction on them. And one other good thing I loved so much within the PPRD this time, that the sound and note of warning was that those who are in those various localities that all the actors in the field should engage local communities and ensure that the projects at the end reflect, the expectation of the beneficiaries. I think this is another aspect which we are crying on, the Anglophone crisis. We are crying on unemployment. It's another avenue of employing. If all these contractors can go to a village and they want to build a health center, and they engage only those common people there, and they work with these people, I think the people will realize, even this issue of amber that we call, they cannot kill you there because you have engaged their brothers and sisters, and they are working and making monies. And at the end of it, all of them, the Francophone man say on partage.
Yeah,
so I think with the PPRD and its follow-up, yes, because it's not like other committees, they don't have follow-ups. Yes, the follow-up that they have done is another aspect of me to also believe that, yes, they are right and they are in the right aspect.
Yes, Charles Kebwa, the people or population-oriented project, now you were only talking about physical construction or reconstruction. What about reconstructing the minds of the local population? Did that come under review during the meeting? Because people have to be, to be talked to, those that have lost ones.
I told you that they had done rehabilitation of basic infrastructures. They have done reconstructions. Social cohesion is amongst, as well as revitalization of local economy gradually being felt. This revitalization of, economy, there is the safety net project. Let me give you an example. We have the safety net project. And this is another economy. It's just that people don't want to be honest. Let us be honest. It is in all the 34 councils in the Northwest region. And it's another way of revitalizing. It's another way of, booming the economy. If you are given 30,000 per month for 1 year, how much is that money? It's a simple question.
Big money.
So if you look at it, they are not only in that aspect, but they are also thinking of how the economy can boom. Me, I'm not an advocate, but visually, and what is happening in the field, like I've told you, they've constructed health centers, they've constructed schools. These were all schools that were taken to be camps in those days. But today, go and look at the schools, and most of them, they are functional, and that is what people need. Even those in the bushes, they themselves, they have discovered that things, they need good roads. They need good health centers. They need good schools, etc., etc. But one thing people still cry is that drop your guns, drop the guns, and let people live in peace.
Yes, we end Charles Kebwa with this headline that has to do with Minister Paul Atanganji. The Guardian Post newspaper is revealing to us this morning that during the opening of first biannual governors conference in Yaoundé, Minister Paul Atanganji sound a note of warning to political parties, NGOs, as well as the media in the country. Governor Adolphine Lafrique is in attendance, and probably you have spoken to him. What did he tell you about some of the things that they are revealing there over there in Yaoundé?
Well, I have not had opportunity, honestly, to talk to him, but he has spoken to some media in the region, like the state media. Well, you see, sounding warning. The political parties, first of all, are a little bit confusive. They are a little bit.
Why do you say they are confused?
Instead of them to join Build Cameroon, they want to build by their political parties and themselves. Some of them are just like politicians. Yes, you can politic and you don't care. You politic today with the 500 you give somebody, you think you have given him heaven. But you don't think of building the person for tomorrow. With this part of, that of the press had always been objective. Yes, a good press had always been objective. I am talking here now. I think I have spoken what I have seen, and it is just what is happening on the field. And I can only give my own, if you ask, my own contribution. And there is no way we will only keep hammering on one side and saying that no. Somewhere along the line, we need to balance stories and equally give proposals. I think hitting hard. He had a reason. Yeah, he had a reason. I cannot say more on this. Coming back, to what we're talking in our region, I still have this to say. It has been written all over. It is high time let people come back to their senses.
Okay.
We should not only think that Minister Tanganji has done this. No. People should think from home.
Okay.
We should think from home. Bamenda is full of debris. Is it only the city mayor that will carry it? No. We should start thinking of how those debts leave our homes before it reaches the city, for it to become a pyre.
Okay, Charles Keba.
Our time is bad.
Yes. Our time is up. Thank you very much.
Those who are in government, who are supposed to do all of this, they should sit up and also think that this suffering may not make Cameroon a better place for everyone also to live. So we just pray and keep hoping.
Okay. Just keep
one may come to pass, and all will be well in the name of the Lord.
Thank you very much. Charles Kebwa, Northwest Regional Bureau Chief of My Media Prime, was our guest this morning to talk about some of the things that have been happening in the Northwest region of the country of lately. And of course, we were here, Etape, Quentin, and myself, Lasha Kingsley, for the presentation. Unfortunately, we could not have the guest that was supposed to be in the studio, our other resource person, to also throw more light on some of the burning issues that the newspapers relate for us this morning. The program was produced for us by Christain, Tebong, and Afonso. Like I mentioned, we were Etape, Quentin, and myself, Lasha Kingsley, for the presentation. Hoping to be back tomorrow with more on what the newspapers must have gathered in Cameroon. Stay blessed and bye-bye for now.